Hi, welcome to this video in which I will compare the discrete SVVCF and the MA35 VCF or VCA by Manhattan Analog. These are two completely different filters, although they look quite similar. The filter you see here is not a Manhattan Analog synthesis system VCF, so this will not be included in the comparison. If you want to know more about either of these filters, I encourage you to watch the videos DivKid made on these filters. He did complete and thorough videos about both of them, with filter sweeps, interesting patches and whatnot, so it's no use doing that all over again. But I know some people are wondering how these two filters compare to each other. So at the moment we're listening to a saw wave coming from Vortex. It's going into a mono channel on the text mix, and it's currently not going through either filter. I've tried to match the levels a little bit, and as you can notice, the gains on both these filters are not maxed out. Let's switch to the SVVCF. So original sound, filter. Let's listen to the MA35. Let's try that with some resonance. Let me increase the resonance on this one as well. Okay. The MA35, by the way, in case you didn't know, is a clone of the original filter that was used in the Chord MS-10 synthesizer. And I really love the sound of those filters. I've always been a fan of Monsieur Boiseau, and he used the MS-10 and its filter extensively on his first popular album. Let's increase the resonance here as well. Let's go to the SVVCF. And as you can already hear, these filters, especially with some resonance, really sound nothing alike. So currently we're listening to this one. Let's increase the resonance even more. I will only do this once. Let's go to the MA35. You can actually get the MA35 to squeal more when you back off the input gain. Let's go back to the SVVCF. When I back the gain off on this one, it kind of stays the same. Okay. Let's go back to 0 resonance and let's increase the input gain. So we're listening to this one. As you can hear, this is a really full and warm sound. I really love how this filter sounds. By the way, if it wasn't clear already, I'm using the low pass filter output on the SVVCF, and I'm also using the MA35 in low pass mode. So let's sweep that again. MA35. So in my experience, the MA35 sounds really warm and, for lack of a better word, fat. It's more of a noisy warmth, while the SVVCF is more clean, if that makes any sense. Let's go back to the SVVCF. Let me sweep this one once more. By the way, I have the input gain on my mixer a lot lower for the MA35, just so the levels are a little bit more matched, but the output of these filters is different as well. Okay, so let me increase the resonance a bit. Note that we're still maxing out the gain. And we're listening to the SVVCF. MA35. Let's increase the resonance. SVVCF. Let's increase it even more. Okay. And you can notice when the gain is maxed out, you can turn the resonance on the MA35 up completely. It doesn't start squealing. Notice when I back off the input gain. Okay, let's go back to the SVVCF. Now, this is really an annoying sound in my opinion, but I never use it with the resonance maxed out unless I want to use it as a VCO. Okay, so what I will do next is add a pitch sequence to Vortex. This is the sound not going through a filter. Let me also add some modulation to the filter. Let's turn down the resonance on both filters. Let's crank up the modulation to about halfway. Okay, let's listen to the SVVCF. Let me back off the input gain first. This really sounds amazing, in my opinion. So now MA35, and I'll switch over to the SVVCF. This is so completely different. Back to the MA35. Let's increase the resonance. So listening to this one. Let's go back to the SVVCF. Let's increase the resonance even more. Let's go to the MA35. Let me increase the input gain. Let's switch over to the SVVCF. Let's increase the resonance on the MA35. Let me back off the input gain. Let me switch to the SVVCF. Okay, and let me add the volt productive sequence to the inputs of the filter, or to the volt productive inputs as well. Let me max out the input gain. It's really cool because on the MA35 you can crank the resonance really by a lot, and with the gain, and by adjusting the gain, you can find the sweet spot that has exactly the amount of resonance squeal you want. Okay, let's go back to the SVVCF. So what I did is patched some chords coming from braids into my mixer and into the filters, currently we're listening to the unfiltered chords. And let's now listen to the SVVCF. MA35. Let's increase the resonance a little bit. SVVCF. Let's increase the resonance even more. So MA35. And you hear how it starts breaking up really, really nicely. At least that's my opinion. It might be a little bit weird to use a Chord MS-10 clone to filter chords, because the MS-10 was the farthest away from a polyphonic synthesizer there is, but it just works. Okay, SVVCF. So let's add an envelope. Now let's add some modulation to the filter. And here as well. Let me close it. MA35. Let's go back to the SVVCF. Let's shorten the release of the envelope and the attack as well. Now let's crank the input gains on both the filters. Let's go to the MA35. SVVCF. Let's back off the resonance. MA35. Maybe I should back the input gain just a bit. SVVCF. And this concludes my rather brief comparison between the Manhattan Analog SVVCF and the MA35. I hope by making this video I made choosing which filter is for you a little bit easier. I actually like both filters really much. For a long time the MA35 was my only big boy filter, and I love it really very much because of the saturation it brings to the sound, and not only because of the CP3 mixer inside, because this one has exactly the same input stage, but just for the wonderful character it brings. But since I was able to get my hands on the SVVCF, I must say I've been using this one a lot more, but just because it's a more versatile filter. There's a low pass, high pass and a band pass, and there's a notch filter as well. But for certain things, the MA35 is still my go-to filter. Like I said, especially for chords, I think this one is really, really interesting. I like how the resonance works on this one as well. But if you want a more all-round versatile filter, I think the SVVCF is more for you. But of course, it sounds completely different. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Bye.